Hello, welcome back to Just Smell Better, the best fragrance channel in the world. So last week I went to check out some niche expensive colognes and some expensive designer colognes in downtown Chicago, and some of them were a little bit disappointing, not gonna lie. They were definitely a little bit overhyped and I was let down. For example, Torino 21 was a little bit underwhelming. I expected a little bit more. Naxos, I expected a little bit more, but low-key, I see the potential. So I'm not gonna overreact yet. So it gave me the idea for this video. Here are 7 colognes that I would never buy, and they are definitely overhyped, at least in my opinion. Let's start with the first and obvious one. I will never buy, you will never catch me with Louis Vuitton Imagination. Man, I don't get the hype for that one at all. It smells like just soap. I will give it that. It smells like expensive soap. Like if you went to like a $10,000 hotel room for one night only, and you use their premium luxury soap. It smells really clean, really luxurious, really just fresh. But for $330, man, that soap better be from like the Pope. The Pope himself better use that soap. I don't want to pay $300 to smell like soap. I can smell like soap for free. I can just take a shower and smell like Louis Vuitton Imagination. And especially when I got these Game of Spades full house bottles. This one is completely empty, and this one is about to run out too because you guys keep buying samples, which goes to show how hyped Louis Vuitton Imagination is on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, everywhere. Even the grandmas are talking about it. So don't get me wrong, I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to yuck your yum. It smells pretty good. It smells like decent. I wear it a lot. I wear full house a lot, but I'm never gonna spend $300 plus to buy a Louis Vuitton Imagination when I got a dupe already. And the real one itself, the scent, it's not that much better, bro. It smells exactly the same. So I will never buy Imagination, but honestly, you can say the same thing for most of the Louis Vuittons. The only Louis Vuitton that I could possibly imagine myself buying is Pacific Chill. Which brings me to the second cologne that you will never catch me buying, and that is Parfums de Marly Althair. This one is not bad at all, I do got a little sample. I bought the Parfums de Marly Discovery set, and it smells pretty decent. It's just a nice like cinnamon warm vanilla scent. It's nothing unique. Think about like Stronger With You mixed with like Angel Share, you know, like Tafacambra, something similar. So for that reason, when I want to wear that type of DNA, I'd rather go for something a little bit cheaper and even more mass appealing, like a Sorrow the Most Wanted Parfum. And one time I did wear Althair to my warehouse job. It was a mistake. I was testing out new colognes. I didn't know this one was this strong, and someone, when I was in a truck, they said I smelled, not me, but like the truck smelled like cheese. It smelled like cheese, and ever since then, I was kind of like, I don't want to smell like that, man. Maybe this cologne is not for me. So definitely a bad experience that I had with that scent. But with that being said, I did buy the newest dupe, which is Liquid Brunch, something like that, which again, not the biggest fan of the smell, but you guys have been telling me in the comments to review this dupe, this clone, so I did get that one. So, you know, even more reason for me not buying the real scent, PDM Althair. Since we're talking about Parfums de Marly already, I do love their scents, but man, Parfums de Marly Greenley, that shit gotta be the most overhyped cologne on TikTok, especially for teenagers right now. Best colognes for summer, best niche colognes for summer, Parfums de Marly Greenley. Hell nah, man. Percival is miles away, way better. Greenley smells nice, but not as a cologne. I don't want to smell like a green apple Jolly Rancher, and it's not even the real Jolly Rancher. It's like a more artificial, more chemically like Jolly Rancher. When a cologne smells synthetic, it can be pretty good, pretty nice, but sometimes it can be too synthetic, and I feel like that's what Greenley suffers. It suffers feeling too synthetic, too artificial, too sweet. I don't know how to explain it. Like for example, Terre d'Hermès wants to smell like orange, so it smells like a realistic orange. PDM Greenley wanted to smell like a green apple, but it smells like a green apple that was made in Temu, like with so many GMOs and stuff. I tried wearing it to the gym, but I couldn't. I have a little sample. It did decent, but not a gym scent, not a summer scent in my opinion. I can't, you know, walk around smelling like this. I'm not a big fan of it. So the number 4 cologne that I would never buy is Gaultier Le Male Elixir Absolu, or the Le Male Elixir. I never got the hype behind Le Male Elixir. I know a lot of you guys, it's it's your favorite cologne, but for me, you can't be Le Male Parfum. At least they've tried to, but they've failed. Le Male Elixir, I find it just sweet, intoxicating, boring, nothing that I want to smell like. People claim it's one of the best party fragrances. I think I'm better off wearing Versace Eros, the original party fragrance. It's one of the most overhyped, and people just hyped it up because it smells like honey, sweet, it follows the trend, and the bottle is gold, and obviously it's a Jean Paul Gaultier bottle, bro. They want to tickle the little pickle. If you just add the word elixir to a fragrance, automatically 100,000 more sales. 100,000 more sales. People love their elixirs and their gold bottles. The fifth cologne that I will never buy, this one's kind of obvious, but it's Dior Sauvage. Why would I buy Dior Sauvage when I already have Bleu de Chanel and YSL Eau de Parfum Intense, which in my opinion are the best and the better blue fragrances? And I am so lucky that I chose for my first ever fragrance Bleu de Chanel. I was in between Chanel, Dior Sauvage, and Versace Eros, which I did end up buying later on. So I'm so lucky I chose Bleu de Chanel because I think it's just the superior fragrance. And I'm not saying this because, you know, like everyone else, we want to hate on Dior Sauvage because it's the most popular cologne of all time and everyone wears it and you're gonna smell like everyone else. I'm not saying it because of that. I genuinely just don't like the scent as much as other blue fragrances. I do admit it smells amazing, one of the most popular for a reason, best compliment getter for sure, best for girls, but I just don't like it as much as other ones. So this one is a little bit more personal. I just have different preferences, but I'm not gonna hate on you for buying it. I think there's a reason why people buy it, because it lands them the most compliments and it makes them feel confident around girls, which I can say the same thing for my sixth cologne that I will never buy. That is Valentino Born in Roma Intense. I think Born in Roma Intense is the most overhyped when it comes to the Valentino line. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one because y'all love it, but the Intense to me just smells a little bit like Spice Bomb Infrared, which is pretty good. Again, I'm not saying these colognes are bad. It's pretty good, it smells decent, like a bubblegum sweetness, but I just don't get the hype when I do enjoy my Born in Roma Eau de Toilette a little bit more. I think it's more versatile, more compliments potential, and it smells just a little bit better. So I know, leave your hate comments down below, man. I'll take them. I'm gonna stand on that. The EDT is better than the Born in Roma Intense. And the last cologne that I will never buy is Creed Aventus. Why would I buy an overpriced $200 fragrance when I got the cologne for around $30? I've smelled the real Creed Aventus in a sample and on store, and it smells 95% similar to Club de Nuit Intense, man. It is very similar. They got it almost 100% correct. And the scent itself is nothing special. I do love Club de Nuit Intense, man. One of my most complimented fragrances. But Creed Aventus by itself is nothing worth buying. I wish I was there back then when the hype was, you know, alive, but I was probably like 12 years old, so you know, you can't blame me for that one. So if I do buy Creed Aventus, it's probably gonna be Creed Aventus cologne. I think it's just a little bit fresher, a little bit better for compliments, and I don't need the original when I already got it for $30. Let me know in the comments which are your colognes that you would never buy, even though people swear on them and hype them up to the moon. But thank you for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I've been posting a lot there, like I'm talking a lot, so make sure to follow me there. Sample my colognes at smellbettersamples.com. Thank you very much. Just smell better.